He doesn't want. I'll tell you what. The one thing he doesn't want to do is fight Mike.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike. I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. Yeah. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape too.
Oh my God.
Mike trains every day.
As tensions around Mike Tyson and Jake Tyson's fight rise, Paul Joe Rogan has made an audacious and pressing plea. Rogan, who is known for having strong opinions, has taken a firm stand and demanded that Jake Paul get out of the upcoming bout with Tyson.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson smashing the mitts, like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck you up.
Tyson is working tirelessly to be ready for his impending showdown with Jake. In the meanwhile, Paul Tyson seized the chance to provide his followers on the X platform with insights from his 4th training session.
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know what you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War. And get ready, baby. Fire in the house.
Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight champion, emanates strength and intimidation as he takes the stage. His piercing gaze conveys a message of unwavering focus and commitment. Tyson's sheer presence demands respect and attention.
One more.
Meanwhile, Jake received a warning from Patrick Beverley, LeBron James's former teammate and current Milwaukee Bucks guard, following Tyson's recent training footage, which left him in shock and anxiety. Paul Beverley issued his warning. The Milwaukee Bucks guard expressed his disbelief at the troubled kid entering the ring with one of the greatest punchers in boxing history, saying he thought it was incredible that anyone would dare to take on the fighter. Tyson Beverley tweeted, "You all leave this man alone." Paul George also foresaw the outcome of the next fight.
It don't matter. Mike ain't scared to get hit.
I think it matters if Mike goes out there and he's really trying to knock him out. Like, is he gonna? I hope he doesn't go out there.
I think he's going to do that. I think that's what he's going to do.
It's going to make for great entertainment for sure.
Man.
George boldly predicted that Mike Tyson would defeat Jake. George also stated that he believes it's difficult to bet against Tyson because of his advanced age. He said, "I don't care about the age gap, like he's actually fighting a boxer. Like he's not fighting an MMA guy, he's not fighting a wrestler, he's not fighting an entertainer, he's fighting a boxer. I don't care how old the age gap is, that he's fighting a boxer, it doesn't matter. Mike ain't scared to get hit." Gilbert Arenas isn't the only basketball player to comment on the Tyson-Paul showdown. As a result, if Iron Mike intentionally gives up victory on purpose, Arenas stated on his podcast, "Just an accidental or hook or something, you're dead. You're not built for these types of hits. So if you even last, we already know it's scripted." In his most recent episode, legendary UFC fighter Henry Cejudo tantalizingly hinted at the anticipated purse for the upcoming fight, saying, "I mean, you know what, I respect Uncle Mike, and I guarantee you if I know that, but it obviously takes two to tango, and I feel like there is probably a really good payday for Mike ever." People have been diligently researching the exact amount that each combatant stands to collect from Netflix in the event that this fight against Gardner occurs ever since the news broke. The enormous profits Netflix stands to make from this spectacle would dwarf the widespread attention and measurements currently being discussed. Cejudo noted that since he will soon age 58, he will most likely end up earning close to $20 million. Jake Paul is actually 27 years old. Mike Tyson is 57. But even though both fighters are making substantial 8-figure salaries, it's possible that they aren't as high as expected. Take this into account. Even though he is competing against a semi-professional boxer, Mike Tyson still attracts attention, with rack-earning paychecks of over $100 million for his most significant fights.
I like it, Kamaru. I don't like it, man.
I agree. I feel like I understand wanting to be famous, and I understand building yourself, and I understand wanting to be a boxer as well, and being a professional.
On his Pound for Pound podcast, Kamaru Usman, also known as the Nigerian Nightmare, didn't hold back when criticizing Jake Paul's decision to fight alongside seasoned boxer Mike Tyson. He stated that someone must eventually be directing this child's career. Do you want to be recognized as a professional boxer, or do you just want to be that well-known YouTuber who did the boxing thing? Usman went on to say that although he thinks Jake Paul has talent and the potential to become skilled at the sport, he questioned how much it will cost for professional fighters, including himself, to respect him as a real fighter. I do think he's talented and I do think Jake Paul can get good at boxing, but at what price do you think a professional fighter, an actual fighter, will respect you for this? Additionally, well-known American comedian and actor Andrew Schulz has commented on the subject, speculating that the Tyson-Paul fight may draw more viewers than any previous boxing match. In an episode of the YouTube talk show Brilliant Idiots, Schulz recently shared his thoughts and rationale for this audacious prediction. He also pointed out another factor that could propel this fight into the realm of greatness and possibly break boxing viewership records. The Paul versus Tyson fight is also on your phone, making it incredibly simple to watch from anywhere in the world if you have Netflix. You're putting it on the streaming behemoth is set to make history by entering the live combat sports broadcasting space with the eagerly awaited Paul versus Tyson bout. For this reason, Schulz stated his opinion that even people who watch combat sports occasionally would find it relatively easy to follow the fight, possibly making it the most watched boxing event ever. The comedian and actor also said that one of the people caught up in the excitement was Dewey Cooper, who became obsessed with two key words after hearing about the bout.
It's the motions. I brought guys for Jake Paul to spar when he were getting ready for Nate Robinson and Ben Askren. I've seen him in the gym a lot. I used to be BJ Flores' coach, his coach at those times. So I was in the gym with them a lot. By the way, real cool guy. Nothing like the people probably would think.
In addition to mentioning his long-standing acquaintance with Mike Tyson,
Cooper mentioned his frequent interactions with Paul in the gym during that time, as he was coaching BJ Flores, who was Paul's coach then. Cooper described Paul as a genuinely nice person, contrary to what many might assume. Additionally, Cooper noted his long-standing acquaintance with Mike Tyson dating back to the 1990s. He praised Tyson as an incredible person who has contributed positively to their team, expressing that the situation is a delicate one for him due to his connections with both fighters.
Mike's an awesome guy, incredible guy. He's helped our team. So it's a sensitive situation for me at 58. The way Mike looks on the pads and everything, he can still do it.
Cooper further highlighted that Tyson's age has a significant impact on his viewpoint, admitting that the pull of financial prospects is just too strong for anyone to resist. Cooper stated that Mike can still perform at 58 based on his appearance on the pads and everything else. He just needs to be committed to training for a genuine camp and take the biggest question in my mind is whether Jake Paul has enough to inspire Mike Tyson. If he does, it will be a serious fight for Jake Paul. If not, he will have the chance to defeat a legendary figure. Cooper stated that he would prefer that Jake Paul take on younger boxers, such as in a rematch with Tommy Fury. Cooper stated that he would prefer Jake Paul to fight some young boxers in a rematch with Tommy Fury or something similar to Mike Tyson. But he acknowledged the significant box office draw and public excitement surrounding a fight against Tyson. Cooper also acknowledged that if there is a public demand for the match and both fighters are amicable, then the fight should proceed. He ended with a note of anticipation, stating that the outcome is still up in the air. Cooper went on to say, "I just hope both fighters are okay, because that's a high age to be fighting young guys. However, if both men are willing and the world wants to watch it, let's do it and see what occurs." Likewise, speaking to former UFC welterweight contender Ben Askren, UFC legend Daniel Cormier offered his crazily candid opinion on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson bout, stating that if he simply defeats Tyson, it may ruin you since he's in a no-win situation. Cormier strongly disapproved of the impending fight, claiming Paul hasn't given it enough thought.
Somebody was like, "Would you wrestle Kyle Snyder for charity?" I'm like, no. He's going to beat the brakes off of me. He won't play with me. He won't give me anything to make me feel good about this. He's gonna beat the shit out of me.
According to COR, it puts Paul in a no-win situation. He said, "I don't know that he probably thought this one out as much as he probably should have been, because if you just go out there and you just beat the hell out of Mike Tyson, everyone's going to be really mad at you." Askren, who lost to Paul in the first round, said, "Yes, I don't disagree, especially if it's kind of like I don't want to say something disrespectful, because it's fighting." Daniel Cormier added that maybe there shouldn't be too much respect involved in the fight, suggesting that viewers might criticize the pay-per-view event if Tyson were to get tired and perform poorly. Easily picked apart, Daniel Cormier raised doubts about its worth and expressed disappointment with the match's quality, saying that there probably shouldn't be much respect, but that if Tyson gasses and starts to look awful, and he's just kind of picking him apart like that's going to be something that people say this pay-per-view. He also expressed his worry about the audience's reaction, stressing that if the fight seems to be of low quality, viewers might express their displeasure openly. Additionally, Cormier conjectured on the possible repercussions should Jake Paul successfully knock out Mike Tyson, implying that this may have a major effect on Tyson's reputation. He stated, "Why am I watching this? This is terrible. I don't want to watch this." Given that he is 30 years younger than Iron Mike and has 6 knockouts on his professional record, it appears that if he simply starches Mike Tyson, it might be over the issue. In a recent interview, Goyette was asked to predict the outcome of the match between Tyson and Paul. Despite his ongoing feud with his current employer Jake Paul, he decided to side with the problem child over Tyson, but he acknowledged Tyson's significant impact. Cormier suggests that a knockout victory over Tyson might mark the end of his career in the boxing world. Neeraj Gode, an up-and-coming boxer who is now affiliated with Most Valuable Promotions, is adding to the excitement. Contributions to boxing, noting that Jake Paul is at the top of his game and that Mike Tyson has returned, even though it has been a while since he left the sport. "No one can match Mike Tyson's abilities, and he is my hero." The Arlington bout has been widely criticized for its apparent lack of parity. The contestants' large age difference has caused a great deal of anxiety among boxing fans and commentators alike, and Iron Mike's return to the ring after a 4-year break following his most recent fight with Roy Jones has only increased this anxiety. "You're not real," Goyette added. Jake Paul is training, isn't he? He's also youthful, which indicates that the fight is going to be fantastic about the outcome. It's difficult to predict who will win or lose, but I believe Jake Paul will perform better due to the age factor. Neeraj Gode, who hasn't entered the ring for a formal fight since May of last year, is holding out hope that his next fight will be against Jake Paul because his confidence reaches its peak when he declares that he will be the one to defeat the troublesome child, saying, "But only I will break." Despite several UFC commentators' doubts, Rogan argues that Jake Paul's opponent was 40 years old, followed by one who was 50 and now one who is nearly 60. According to Tyson's anonymous podcast, "Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him fight. The kid can fight 100%. That Tommy Fury fight really showed that it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer. Tyson has the abilities necessary to break down Paul Rogan." Rogan went on to express his disdain for Tyson's advanced age, highlighting the fact that even at 55, Tyson is still a remarkable man. He emphasized Tyson's training with Rafael Cordo to highlight Tyson's ongoing strength and ability, saying he was especially impressed by the way Tyson struck the mitts forcefully during sessions. Rogan went on, "I don't care if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson. He trains with MMA veteran Rafael Cordo and runs King's Mixed Martial Arts." Additionally, Rogan mentioned the modern benefits that could help Tyson, such as hormone replacement vitamins and advanced recovery techniques like electrical muscle stimulation, suggesting that these could further enhance Tyson's physical condition and performance. Tyson is a world-renowned trainer, and when you see him holding the mitts for Tyson and Tyson is smashing the MS, that guy can still get you up. Rogan went on to highlight the contemporary scientific methods Tyson used to prepare for the bout against Roy Jones Jr. and upheld his belief that Tyson is still a dangerous opponent who can inflict damage at any age. Rogan noted that during their training, Mike, I don't give a __, since they used cutting-edge science for the Roy Jones bout. If Jake Paul is on the other side of the ring, and he witnesses Mike Tyson bobbing and weaving, he will recognize him and hurt you if he is 55 years old. Rogan predicted that Jake Paul would have an epiphany when confronted with Tyson's traditional fighting style in the ring. He also mentioned how frightening Tyson's age-appropriate power and surprisingly maintained speed are, adding that he's going to look over and realize, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson at 55. The power is the last thing to go, but the speed is still it's terrifying there. Rogan conjectured about the nature of the fight between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., speculating that there might have been an agreement to refrain from face punches because Tyson mostly targeted the body in addition to using jabs. I'm not sure what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind, they came to an understanding where Mike wouldn't punch him in the face because the majority of his blows were to the body. However, as the impending clash approaches, one can't help but wonder if this confrontation between two opposing boxing personas will actually take place. To circulate among the doubters, there is a significant group of people that are skeptical that this fight will ever happen, and Sean Porter is one of them. He has reservations about Paul's chances of fighting Mike Tyson on July 20th.
When his opponent was walking out to the ring, I looked in dude's face and I was like, yo, he got that face like he know what he's supposed to do tonight. He's supposed to find somewhere on this mat to lay down, and when that perfect punch is thrown, he gonna lay down. And
that's what you meant?
That's exactly what I meant.
You meant.
Porter expressed his skepticism clearly on his podcast. Porter said, I don't think the fight is happening because I'm not excited about it. I think it takes more than 4 or 5 days for something like this to happen. Porter talked about his lack of excitement for the much-anticipated fight between Tyson and Paul. Among fans, he stands out for his doubts about the bout's legitimacy, speculating that it might only be a display for the audience.
And I'm not saying from a standpoint of him taking money to take a dive. I just saying this dude look like he know what his job is. He's supposed to find somewhere to lay down on this canvas. Okay. And when that punch is thrown, he's supposed to lay down.
Porter's concerns stem from the extremely quick announcement of the fight, which came just 5 days after Jake Paul's last fight and left little time for appropriate planning and negotiation. He said, I don't think that throughout the course of him having a fight in Puerto Rico, he never mentioned, yeah, we're going to get this bum out of the way, and I got something real exciting for y'all. Porter then thinks that Jake Paul would have mentioned this incident in his last fight, or even at that time. He added, never say anything like that. After the fight is dry as it ended, and you have to do something to get us energized and enthusiastic. Porter Harbor expressed skepticism about the secrecy of any prior conversations about the fight, asking why Jake Paul hasn't made them public if they were real. He also said that you were unaware that this fight was imminent. Jake Paul is working tirelessly to hype up the fight every day, so I don't think this fight will be made in 4 or 5 days. If it doesn't go through, boxing fans will be extremely disappointed. Without hesitation, Paul has even responded to the circulating rumors about the regulations of the fight. Paul criticized the false information, calling individuals who believed it fools, while the official regulations are still unknown. Paul's ferocious reply points to a more conventional battle. He wore headgear and remarked, "Come on, people. I feel for any idiot who thinks that, and I would never let my fans down in a fight like this." His manager knocked down the rumors on Instagram, echoing a similar stance. The most recent commentator on the bout is UFC fighter Chuck Liddell, who told TMZ that he believed Tyson could still defeat Paul with a single blow. In response to a question about whether he had any remaining strength, Liddell declared that he believes the former heavyweight champion still has what it takes to win, and that if he hits him, it's over. Paul Liddell's advice was straightforward. Keep covered up, man. Here's what else he said.
I think Tyson has a chance. Jake, they're saying, is the favorite.
Yeah, if Tyson's taking a dive, he's the favorite. But if Tyson hits him, it's over.
So,
hey, by the way, last thing to go is power.
Interesting.
Last thing to go is power. He hits him, it's over.
Alternatively, Tim Tszyu, the world WBO welterweight champion, shared his opinions about the upcoming Paul versus Tyson fight. Tszyu stated that this bout will, first and foremost, raise awareness of the sport I love. He expressed his admiration for Mike Tyson and his hope that the renowned boxer stays unharmed, acknowledging that the fight would bring significant attention to boxing, a sport he loves and holds in high regard, largely because he grew up watching Tyson's matches. Jake was also added by Zoo. Paul is doing well too, but I'm an expert in fighting Tyson, so I wouldn't do it. The world is changing, so it remains to be seen if the fight will live up to the enormous expectations or fall short. But the sheer number of discussion and the diversity of viewpoints highlight the fight's importance in the cultural zeitgeist. That concludes today's film. Please remember to hit the bell button, like, and subscribe if you liked it so you don't miss any of our next videos.